Hi, my name is Melody. I'm a Nigerian-based content creator, and this is the first time you're seeing my face here on YouTube. Thank you very much for stopping by. Please do well to subscribe to my channel, but if not, hi, you're welcome. I want to start something new on my channel, and this would be me doing book reviews. So this will range from self-help books, personal development books, business books, finances, and all of that, even spirituality. But for today, let's just begin with something really nice and popular. So from the title by now, you already know what we're reviewing today. Today we'll be reviewing the book Atomic Habits. Now this book basically talks about breaking old habits and building new ones. So if you want to get into it and you haven't read this book, just take this as your cue to actually read the book. And one final disclaimer: if you haven't read this book before and you're not going to buy it anyways, I have a gift for you at the end of this video. So please do well again to watch through to the end of this video to see what I have for you guys. So yes, let's talk about Atomic Habits.
Hey, look, a new subscriber.
This book, Atomic Habits, it was written by James Clear, and the book is a self-help book that basically talks about how to build and maintain good habits while breaking the old ones, because you don't want to pour a new wine in an old bottle. You don't want to have, that stinking attitude or that stinking habit. Apologies, but you don't want to have that and now start trying to build new stuff or trying to get new stuff inside of you. When it comes to self-help and self-development, you have to understand that you make away with the old things just so that you'll be able to receive the new things. So yeah, the core idea of this book is that habits are a building block of a successful life. So if you want to be successful at what you do, and I'm not saying Jeff Bezos kind of successful or all that kind of stuff, I'm just saying, like, as a person, success can mean a whole lot of different things, and finding fulfillment a lot of the time can be termed as successful. So just to be on the right page with you, if you want to live a successful life, a life with fulfillment, you have to understand that habits are a step to take to build that. So you don't just wake up and then you're a changed person. You have to make constant, deliberate, and effective actions towards that direction regularly over time before you'll be able to say, yes, I've built something out of myself, I've changed, I'm beginning to live a new life. And so at this point, I'll be talking about 5 points that this book really highlighted about how you can actually build a new habit while breaking the old ones. So I'm going to talk about those 5 ways that you can actually do that this book was really centered around. But that doesn't mean that you should not read the book, because it's really helpful. But let's just go around the 5 points of how you can successfully build a good habit that can stand the test of time. So now, for the number 1 way that you can actually start to create your own habits consciously and effectively is to make sure that your habits is visible. You have a reminder of this habit you're trying to create. Now, throughout this video, I'm going to be using a scenario of someone, a person, a lady, a man, a human who wants to start speaking to themselves more nicely, who wants to extend more grace to themselves, because so we don't realize it that much, but some of us have lived our lives through always blaming ourselves. And shocker, in as much as we do blame ourselves, like every single time something goes wrong, one thing we never do, we never extend grace to ourselves. Even when we do the right things, even when we tend to be successful at some things, we don't appreciate ourselves. We're like, okay, it's normal, on to the next one. And then if you fail at the next one, you curse yourself, you hate yourself, you speak down on yourself. And so we're going to be using a scenario of someone who has a strong habit of always talking down on themselves, especially when things go wrong or when things don't go the way that they have planned. So if you want to break such a habit, or you want to cultivate a new habit, like to talk more nicely to yourself, to extend more grace to yourself, then make it more visible make sure that you remind yourself. Now, I watched a video one time that was talking about how someone can develop a habit or someone can stay away from committing sin. Now, the idea was that if you wait until the sin comes, you're definitely going to fall into it. It's just like fighting a battle. You don't wait until the enemy comes or the opponent comes before you now wear your gear and get prepared. From the time you even sense it and you know that you want to win this battle, that is the time you have to start preparing against that battle. That is the time you have to start preparing to win the battle. So now, my own idea here personally, I would say that if you are trying to build a new habit, all you have to do is to prepare ahead of time. This is probably not out of context, but just something particularly to me while I was going through this. Now, making a visible reminder of the habit that you're trying to create would make you more effective in creating it. I've seen a lot of people who have their mirrors filled with sticky notes of how to maybe treat themselves better, things that they deserve, knowing fully well that they deserve better than they've been treated or they've been treating themselves now. That's like really an example of what you can actually do when it comes to this kind of situation. You can just, yes, give yourself the time to feel loved. Give yourself the time to appreciate yourself, even before the challenges come. So even before you embark on a journey that you know that might not be successful, you already have braced yourself to say that, okay, come what may, no matter what, I'm in love with this girl that I'm becoming. I'm in love with this guy that I'm becoming. I'm in love with this girl that makes plans and isn't scared of failure. I'm in love with her. She's doing great no matter what happens, no matter where the wind blows, no matter where the wind comes from. I am proud of myself and I'm happy with myself. Sometimes it might be difficult to say, and I'm not saying say things that are not true, because sometimes if you try to deceive yourself, you know it by yourself, and that voice inside of your head is a very tacky one. It will mess you up. So gradually build yourself to understand that this is a process, okay? It's not something you just jump right into and then you are at the peak. Just make sure to not forget that you're in the process of changing yourself, in the process of changing your own life. Don't forget that. Make your habit as visible as possible. You can hang it on your wall if you want to. This is something that needs to change in my life. This is how I need to get it done. This is what I need to do to ensure that I extend more grace to myself. Nobody likes the negative energy. So if you keep bringing that negative energy, complaining about something you lost, like nobody ever lost anything before, nobody is going to love that. So if you know that that is a point of your life that has affected you, this is what you need to do. If you need to hang it on your wall, like I said, hang it on your wall. No matter what the habit is that you're trying to create, if it's procrastination, hang it on your wall and say, whatever you have to do it now. Whatever you think that you want to do it now. There are a lot of quotes that you can actually frame and make you look nice, just to make sure that you're not hard on yourself. Even when you're trying to get into it, you're still being nicer to yourself. I don't know if you get it, but I feel like I do get it. So yeah, that's the first point on the list. Now, the second point is to make your habits attractive. I don't know how you guys see this, but to be very honest, not a lot of people think that creating a habit will be beneficial to them on the long run. So if you're one of those people that don't think that, okay, where is this going to lead me? If you've never seen that it's a problem by yourself, maybe it's something that people have been talking about. I mean, you've never seen that, oh, this thing is going to benefit me. Maybe if I start talking to myself nicely, I'm going to do better. I'm going to even succeed better. I'm going to be more successful at stuff. If you've never thought about how that will affect you, please think about it. The second point is talking about making your habits attractive. Now, in real sense, it's only saying that attribute your habit, that's your new habit, to something positive. Now, if you think that, oh, just because I talk badly to myself, I'm not able to achieve as much as I'm supposed to achieve now, attribute that habit to your many more achievements to come. Think about it as a sacrifice or an investment you have to make to ensure that every other thing you do in your future has a headway. If you are somebody that down talks yourself, your inner person, your soul will always listen to the rubbish that you say to yourself, and it will work accordingly. So if you think that yes, this thing has been disturbing me, change it, attribute it to something positive, attribute it to something that you will be proud of in the nearest future, so that it doesn't look like it's a chore when you're trying to stop talking to yourself badly. So like I said, this is the example we'll be using throughout the video. But if you're someone that, yes, you are relating to this, you don't talk to yourself nicely when bad things happen, especially when it looks like it's your fault, then take a cue from this. Make sure you make that habit visible. Make talking to yourself very visible. Make talking to yourself very attractive. Make talking to yourself nicely really attractive. Make it a point of duty to see that if I achieve this, I'm going to achieve many more better things in the future. So that is why you need to do it. Don't do it because, oh, Melody said that I should do it, or oh, the society is now becoming so aesthetic and I want to join it. No, if you do that, there is this thin much of a line between your life right now and your life being depressed, like literally, because you're going to be doing this because you just want others to see, or you just want to follow the trend. No, do it because you know that in the long run it will be effective, and in the long run it will be beneficial. That's just what I'm trying to say. So to the third point, make it easy. Now, don't kill yourself. If you have a habit of not talking to yourself nicely, go back to the drawing board. Think about when this thing started. Sometimes you might have started things from your childhood. People don't talk to you nicely, so what's the need? You're already used to it. So imagine if you're 20 years old right now, if you're 25 years old right now, if you're 30 years old right now, you have built a negative habit for over 20 years. You don't expect to break it in just a day or a week, or just being the good girl or being a self-love advocate. No, it doesn't work that way. Sometimes it will creep in. Sometimes it will make you feel like you're not worth it. But don't be hard on yourself, because if you're being hard on yourself when you're trying to break a habit of speaking nicely to yourself, then you're not achieving anything. If there is friction in your habit, in the new habit that you're trying to create, then you are not achieving anything. The point of creating a new habit is to make sure that your life is easier than it was. So if your life was difficult when you used to speak to yourself badly, you used to curse yourself, you used to blame yourself, then now trying to fix a new habit into your life has to be easy. That process needs to make your life easier. It needs to make you feel calmer. It needs to make you feel better. If it doesn't, you're doing it the wrong way. If that doesn't, you are on that journey on the wrong foot. So just pause and just start again. There's no wrong, no shame in starting again. So if you think that, okay, creating this habit is stressful, you're doing it the wrong way. There shouldn't be that much of a friction when it comes to creating a new habit, especially when it's something positive. It's love. Just think about how people fall in love at first sight, yeah? They don't force themselves. They don't make it look like, oh, I need to fall in love or else I would die. It just happens. And you might think that, oh, it's because they've never met this person before, but now let's get into it. Have you met that part of you that speaks to herself nicely before? I don't think you have. Which is why I'm saying it right now. If you want to be that person, you have to be able to fall in love with that person. And it should be really easy to actually love that person and do what that person would love to do. Capish? I don't know if you're getting it. But let me know. Let me know if I'm dropping gems in this video. Let me know in the comment section if I'm making sense. Okay? Guys, let's move on to the 4th point. Now, for number 4, make it satisfying. You get that feeling when it looks like you have worked so hard for something, and on the long run you achieved exactly what you wanted to achieve. You did it exactly the way you wanted to do it. Make your new habit satisfying. Now, one thing and one way that you can actually do that, one thing that you can do to accomplish that, is to ensure that you have something to honor yourself in place of that accomplishment. So if you're someone that wants to speak more nicely to themselves, if people say action speaks louder than words. Action, they say, speaks louder than words. So if you want to be more nicer to yourself, my own nice advice that I would give is that you reward yourself. Because you can't be nice to someone that you don't give nothing. You can't be nice to someone, you can't say, oh, I'm nice to this person, and you never give them anything. You never help them with anything. I don't know if I'm making sense, but if I am, yes, that is what you're supposed to be doing. If you're trying to create a new habit, please start loving yourself and bring out the feminine part of you. Treat yourself, gift yourself, reward yourself. So for point number 5, create an identity-based habit. Now, if you're that person that speaks nicely to herself and people know you as that person that bad talk does not come out of your mouth against yourself, to be very honest, if you're like that towards yourself, then it's easier to be like that towards others. It's easier to extend grace to others. It's easier to speak to people more nicely. It's easier for you to say, oh, you made this mistake, oh, this happened, oh, this didn't work, don't worry, you'll be fine. It's easier to encourage people when you're like that. And if you're that person that people see as the positive person, you're that person that has created an identity of a positive person. You're not a pessimist. You're always optimistic about the things that are to come. You're always optimistic. If something doesn't work, then it will work the next try. There's always a second chance. There's always a third time to do it. There's always the next time to do it. If you're that person, you tend to attract, people who would need your help and people who are like you also. So you tend to be a model to those people who don't have what you have, and it gives you a sense of belonging. It's purpose oriented, coming from a place of not being able to talk to yourself nicely, and now you don't only talk to yourself nicely, you also extend grace to others, and you're also nicer to others. It gives you a certain point of experience that nobody can take away from you. Rather, people would come to know, how did you do this? How were you able to turn from that to this? Be that person that is in your head. What does she look like? What does he look like? That person that is nicer, that person that speaks well to themselves and speaks well to other people. What do they look like? Have that identity in mind, and it guides you. It guides you to not stray. It guides you to not, instead of being a nice person, now you become an arrogant person. There's a thin line between that when it comes to self-love and self-care. When it comes to an identity of self, there's a thin line between someone that just loves themselves and someone that is full of themselves. So don't be that person that is full of herself. Don't be that person that is full of himself just because you started a journey to self-love. Be that person that starts and knows where they are going to. They know the person that they want to be. They know the image that's in their head of the person that they are willing to work on to be like. Now, this book also talks about ways that you can break old habits and make sure that you don't really go back to them. You can use some tracking methods. You can have an accountability partner, and you can also, surround yourself with people who do that same thing. So don't go and start wanting to be somebody that wants to start speaking to themselves more nicely, and you're surrounded by people who talk badly to you and talk badly to themselves. So you will never get out of that circle. So these are some of the ways that you can actually start the journey. But then the other points that I stated are ways that you can actually effectively continue to be that person to yourself, and also to the people that are around you, to the new community that you're going to be building, to the new community that you're going to be joining. You want to be more like the people that are around you. So if you don't want to be those people that curse out themselves, switch, turn around, go look for your tribe, go look for your group, go look for your people. Overall, the book Atomic Habits is really just talking about creating habits that are going to lead to successful lifestyle, that are going to lead to fulfilling lifestyle. You don't want to be stuck in blaming other people for your misfortune or for your loss. When you get to the point where you realize that, oh, I should have done things differently, this book is giving you a head start. It's telling you that, hey, you can do this while you still have the time to do it. You can change your life while you still have the time to change it, and not go ahead and start blaming somebody when it is maybe too late or almost too late. So yeah, if you know that this is a part of you that you want to work on when it comes to self-help and self-care and development, please go ahead and check out the book Atomic Habits. And for what I promised you guys for the end of the video, if you haven't subscribed to Audible is an Amazon platform that allows you to listen to audiobooks on the platform. Now you have to subscribe a monthly subscription fee, but because you're watching this video, if you haven't subscribed to Audible before, you can actually subscribe now using the link in my description, and you can get to read the Atomic Habits book for entirely free. You're welcome. Make sure to use the link in my description. It will lead you directly to the book anyway. So yeah, go ahead and check it out if you haven't read the book before, and if you haven't subscribed to Audible before, you can get it for free. You're welcome. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching till the end. For those of you who did, I appreciate you guys so much. I love you guys so much. Like I said before, this is something that I'll be doing every Friday. So if you have a book that you want me to review for you, just to have an insight of what the book is talking about, please leave it in the comment section. I'm going to attend to it and I will review your book. So let's just say bye for now, and I'm going to be giving you guys another video sometime this week and also next week and many more weeks to come. Bye.